an introductory to the 46th North Midlands Division, a Territorial Army Division of VII Corps 3rd Army, who would attack north of Gommecourt. Also introductory to the makeup of British units and what would need to be done to break the German defences. The reasoning behind VII Corps' attack on Gommecourt was as a diversion so that the German forces defending 7th and 8th Corps' area of attack, particularly the artillery, wouldn't concentrate their fire just on the attack of 8th Corps in the south, and have to deal with 7th Corps' attack in the north as well, giving the chance of 8th Corps attack being more likely to be successful. 46th Division was a Territorial Army Division which recruited its men from the North Midlands of England. 137 Brigade recruited its men for its 4 battalions from the English county of Staffordshire. 138 Brigade recruited its men for its 4 battalions from the English county of Lincolnshire and Leicestershire, while 139th Brigade recruited its men for its 4 battalions from the English county of Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. The Pioneer Battalion was recruited from the Welsh county of Monmouthshire. 46th Division arrived on the Western Front in February 1915, based on the front line Potsdam in Belgium. Next year in March they moved south and were based on Neuve-Chapelle in France. In April they moved back up north to Mezzine Ridge in Belgium. In July, they moved a little bit further north to Valois Ridge in Ypres, Salient, where they saw their first action with men of the Sherwood Foresters of 139th Brigade holding the line when the Germans attacked them with the first use of flamethrowers, or as the Germans called them, Flammenwerfer, against British forces. In October, 46th Division was involved with the attack on the Hohenzollern Redoubt. In the later stages of the Battle of Loos, 2 companies of the 1st to 5th South Staffordshire Regiment held part of the Big Woody Trench on the right, the first objective and the second objective and the final objective for the division. And the 37th Brigade attacked in the south, which failed, suffering from heavy German fire. 138th Brigade, attacking in the north, managed to capture the front of the Hohenzollern Redoubt, but advancing from there they were struck by heavy German machine gun fire. The division suffered over 3,500 dead and wounded from this attack, a third of its strength. In this operation, the division won 2 Victoria Crosses. Captain Charles Geoffrey Vickers of the 1st to 7th Robin Hood Battalion, Sherwood Foresters, Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire Regiment Territorial Force, with his conscious bravery on 14th October 1915 in the Hohenzollern Redoubt, when nearly all his men had been killed or wounded, with only 2 men available to handle bombs. Captain Vickers held a barrier for some hours against heavy German bomb attacks from front and flank. Regardless of the fact that his own retreat would be cut off, he had ordered a second barrier to be built behind him in order to ensure the safety of the trench. Finally, he was severely wounded, but not before. His magnificent courage and determination had enabled a second barrier to be completed. The critical situation was thus saved. Corporal James Lex Dawson, 187th Company 4 Engineers, the most conscientious bravery, devotion to duty, on 30th October 1915, the Hohenzollern Redoubt during a gas attack when the trenches were full of men. He walked backwards and forwards along the parados, fully exposed to obey heavy fire, in order to be the better able to give directions to his own sappers and to clear the infantry out of the sections of the trench that were full of gas. Finding 3 leaking gas cylinders he rolled them some 16 yards away from the trench, again under very heavy fire, and then fired rifle bullets into them to let their gas escape. There's no doubt the cool gallantry of Corporal Dawson on this occasion saved many men from being gassed. In December, the division was back at New Chapelle, and in March 1916 took over the line at Vinny Ridge from the recently departed French forces. Finally in May, they took over the line in front of Gommecourt. The makeup one of the British armies is that it's made up of a number of corps. Depending on the role it is to undertake, you can have 1 corps, 2 corps, 3 corps, or even more. How many divisions a corps can have depends on the role it is to undertake. You can have 1 division, 2 divisions, 3 divisions, or even more. Each corps have its own independent heavy artillery unit attached to it. Each division is made up of 3 brigades. Each brigade is made up of 4 battalions, and each brigade has a trench mortar battery attached to it and a machine gun company. Also attached to the division is the divisional troops, which is made up of a pioneer battalion, Royal Field Artillery units, Royal Engineers, Royal Army Medical Corps, and other divisional troops, which could be a veterinary service unit or resupply units. Battalion is made of 4 companies, battalions of 46th Division. Each company is labelled from A to D. Each company has 4 platoons. A company has platoons numbered 1 to 4, B company numbered 5 to 8, C company numbered 9 to 12, finally D company numbered 13 to 16. Each platoon is made up of 4 sections. A standing infantryman is issued with a Lee Enfield rifle. Each field rifle is able to fire between 20 to 30 aimed shots per minute depending on the marksman, an effective range of 500 yards and a maximum range of 3,000 yards. The platoon is equipped with 1 Lewis gun. The standard gun is able to fire 500 to 600 rounds per minute, has an effective range of 880 yards and a maximum range of 3,500 yards. It fires a 303 bullet and has either a 47 or 97 round magazine. The grenade used is the mail bomb, which can't be thrown as far as the German stick grenade, but does greater damage to its target. At the time, to destroy the German barbed wire was for the 18-pounders or the field artillery units to fire shrapnel shells at the wire. High explosive shells would just move the wire around without damaging it. Shrapnel shells are exploded in the air, and the 364 shrapnel balls in the shell would shoot down to the ground. Destroyed the barbed wire, the shells would need to be set to detonate just above and in front of the wire. Also, the range of fire needed to be between 1,800 and 2,400 yards. It's too steep an angle and the balls would go harmlessly into the ground, too shallow and the balls would go over too wide an area to have an effect. It's not easy to achieve. German barbed wire in front of the frontline trenches could be over 10 feet in depth and could be easily be replaced by just throwing barbed wire into any gaps. The bunker was where the German soldiers would sleep and eat during heavy bombardments. They could be linked from the front line to the second line, or the second line to the third line if so required, and could be up to 20 feet deep. The way to destroy the German bunkers was with the use of heavy artillery howitzers, firing high explosive shells at them. Sap was an underground trench which would be dug across no man's land towards the enemy front line before an attack. Once the enemy front line trench had been captured, the trench would have its top removed, be connected to the new British trench, forming a communication trench across no man's land, so that reinforcements and supplies could be safely brought across no man's land. It can also be set up as a new front line trench facing north or south. The only downside of this is that the trench is straight, not unusual zigzag style, making it vulnerable to machine gun fire down it or giving double protection from shell fire. First of 6 films on the attack of 46th Division on Gommecourt. Next film covers the British units involved in the attack on Gommecourt. Future films will be on Film 3, German units, Film 4, Attack Plan, Film 5, The Attack, Film 6, Aftermath. If you would like to support the channel financially so that I can keep producing these films, you can do so by Patreon or PayPal, details in the description box. If you want to be informed when the next film will be coming out, please click on the subscribe button.